this is kind of the same process, but with stars. All right, it's all connected to a change in temperature and luminosity of the star. As the star changes, it moves to regions on the HR diagram. Thus, scientists can tell how old a star is simply by finding where it is on the HR diagram to the left shows a group of stars. Instead of showing them in different parts of the universe, it shows them in different stages of their life. Stars that are the same stage in their life cycle are shown close. There are three main regions of the diagram, and these are labeled main sequence, supergiants, and white dwarfs. All right. So not much here that I think is really, really key, but just that the diagram, where they are in the diagram shows where they are in their life, and that stars that are around the same stage will be in similar parts of the diagram. All right, main sequence. The region with the most is in the middle of it is known as the main sequence, and it runs from the upper left to the bottom right of the diagram. The stars in the upper left are hot and bright. Those in the bottom right are cool and faint. Stars spend about 90% of their lives in the main sequence. Main sequence stars are stars. They burn hydrogen gas into helium gas in their cores. The main sequence has a branch called giants, and many of the stars here are white dwarfs. All right, so a couple things that I'm going to help out here. Main things we want are understanding that stars spend most of their life in this stage. They're burning hydrogen into helium, and most of these stars are white dwarfs. So let's go back to our diagram. And we can see, oh, where did it go? I'll let me change it. All right, so here's your main sequence. And you can see the majority of the stars are kind of found in that area. So we have our supergiants that are brightest but cool, and our white dwarfs that are not as bright, but they're very, very hot. And our sun is right here. So a teensy tiny, well, not as small as a dwarf, but definitely not as big as our supergiants. And right in the middle, heat-wise, and right in the middle, brightness-wise. So not a bright star, not a big star, not a hot star. It's kind of hard to think about, isn't it? When you think about the sun, you think it's really, really bright. All right. Supergiants and white dwarfs. Above the main sequence is a region where the red and the stars are. These stars have lower surface temperatures and higher luminosities, ranging from class 1 to class 3. They are larger than the main sequence stars. Stars enter this stage of life once they have burned up the hydrogen in there. By this point, they have started to burn helium and other heavier elements. All right, so again, I'm going to help us out here because we want to make sure we really get the key information. So we have red giants and supergiants. They have a lower surface temperature, so they're cooler. They're very bright. That's what we just looked at on our diagram. And they're larger. Our sun has a ways to go. And they come to the stage when they've burned up all their hydrogen and they're starting to burn helium. All right. The dwarf stars are the final stage of a small and medium-sized star. They're found at the bottom left of the diagram, and these stars are very hot, but release very little light due to their small size. So we're going to do white dwarfs, final life stage. They're found, they are very hot, very little light, and they're very small. All right, so on your paper, you have 2 ERQs. It says, in 3 or more sentences, explain what happened to stars throughout their lives. I'm going to write our verb, explain, life of a star, and we need 1, 2, 3 major ideas. And I would probably explain each of the 3 stages. So the main sequence, the giants, and the dwarfs. Summarize 2 ways the stars are classified. There's 4 ways presented in there, but 2 main ways. Summarize, oops. What are we summarizing? How stars are classified. And it said 2 ways. All right, I hope you have a great day. Make sure you finish your ERQ questions. You're going to finish your DWD, write incomplete sentences, and then count your words. Remember that if you are taking information from the text, that you need to make sure that you quote and that you give the text credit. All right, have a great afternoon, and I'll see you all for the next one.